Hi everybody, in this video we are going to discuss about the special modes of reproduction, and in the previous video we studied about the apomixis, and now today in this video we are going to discuss about the polyembryony. So you are having some idea about the embryo, and you know the term what do you mean by poly. So poly means what? Many embryos, okay, many embryos. So here we are going to talk about many embryos that are formed in the seed. Generally, in the angiospermic plants, each seed will be containing only one embryo. So here we should remember that each seed will consist of only one embryo. This is what is the fact. But here, apart from this, there may be the presence of many embryos within one seed, which means a seed may contain more than one embryo. Okay, it contains more than one embryo. So embryos will be present. More than one embryos will be present. That is very important here. So we are going to concentrate on this now. Okay, seed which is having more than one embryo. So let us say more than one embryo. Okay, more than one embryo. There will be more than one embryo present in one seed. That is only called as what? Polyembryony. So that is called as the polyembryony. So here let us put it into a sentence and see what do you mean by polyembryony. The phenomenon of development of more than one embryo in the same seed. So within the same seed, if there are more than one embryo, then we are calling it as what? Polyembryony. So you have to remember, in simple, we have to remember that one seed consists of more than one embryo. That is called as polyembryony. Many embryos present within the same seed. It is called as polyembryony. For the first time, this is being discovered. Okay, this process of polyembryony taking place in the plants is discovered for the first time by Leeuwenhoek. The scientist, in the year 1719. Okay, in the year 1719, he discovered that polyembryony is taking place in the plants. Okay, this plant in which he discovered is the citrus plant. This is important one. So here in the citrus, the scientist Leeuwenhoek in the year 1719 discovered the process of polyembryony, the phenomenon of polyembryony he observed in the citrus. So it may be the polyembryony may be due to what? There may be various reasons for this. It may be due to more than one ovule. Okay, more than one ovule that is present, or more than one ovule may be present. More than one egg. Okay, more than one egg present in each embryo. Okay, more than one egg in one embryo sac. In one embryo sac, there may be more than one egg. Okay, in one embryo sac only. Say suppose if this is the embryo sac, we know that there will be only one egg. But here what we are saying, there may be more than one egg present. There may be more than one egg that is present in the embryo sac. So in all that eggs that are present, here this is only one egg. But in this process, what we are saying, there may be many eggs that are present. So when there are more than one egg cell that is present in the embryo sac, it may lead to many embryos. When all those eggs are being pollinated, fertilized, then it leads to what? Many embryos. This is one reason. Okay, this is one reason to say that how it is possible for polyembryony. There will be more than one egg present in one embryo sac. General rule is what? One embryo sac will have only one egg. But here what we are saying, one embryo sac is having more than one egg. And if all those eggs are fertilized, they may be changing into what now? Each embryo. each embryo. Or even if they are unfertilized also, there are chances that they will be changing into what? Embryos. They will be changing into embryos. And another reason is that each ovule may contain more than one embryo sac. More than one embryo sac. Okay, more than one embryo sac in each ovule. So here what we are saying, one ovule contains more than one embryo sac. What is the normal actual rule? That one ovule may contain only one embryo sac. But here what we are saying, there may be many embryo sacs. There may be many embryo sacs and in the ovule, and each embryo sac, if there are many, more than one, and each embryo sac will contain compulsorily one egg. And if all those are fertilized, then they give rise to n number of embryos. This is another reason. Apart from these two, we also should remember that polyembryony may take place because of the three antipodal cells. So we know that these are what? At the chalazar region of the embryo sac, antipodal cells. So antipodal cells will also can develop into embryos. Not only these, we know that in the embryo sac, at the base, okay, say suppose if this is the embryo sac, if this is the egg, at the adjacent towards the egg, say suppose here we are saying that this is the egg, and the next on either side of the egg there are what? Synergids. So even the synergids can also develop into the embryos. So here the next reason that we are going to say is that the synergids or the antipodal cells, which are present inside what? These two are present inside what? The embryo sac. Can develop. These two now can develop into what? Embryos. These two can develop into embryos. Please remember, one very important point is that this is most common. Synergids are the most common ones which can develop into embryos. In most of the cases, synergids can develop into embryos. Very important point. In most of the cases, synergids will develop into embryos. And antipodal cells are rare. Okay? Antipodal cells, in rare cases, they will be developing into what? Embryos. But here, our aim is what? Polyembryony. And what we are saying, synergids and also what? Antipodal cells can develop into embryos that are present in what? Embryo sac. These two are present in the embryo sac, and these two can develop into what now? The embryo. Okay, can develop into embryos. They can develop into embryos. That is one point. Among these two, which is most common? The synergids is most common. Okay, this is most common, and antipodal cells are rare in formation of what? Embryos. This is synergids and antipodal cells are there present within what? The embryo. So here embryo sac, here are the antipodal cells. Okay, these are antipodal cells. These are all. This structure is what we said. It is what? The embryo sac. But outside the embryo sac, within the ovule, there will be other cells. That are present. So now we said that synergids and antipodal cells present in the embryo sac can develop into what? Embryos. Here we said synergids are the most common ones which can develop into what? Embryos. Antipodal cells are rare, which develop into embryos. Apart from this, here in the embryo sac, this is all what now? Right after fertilization. Okay, here this one, right after fertilization, it will be changing into what? The central cell, endosperm. Okay, the endosperm. The central cell of the embryo sac will be changing into endosperm right after fertilization. Now, one of the endosperm cell can also develop into embryo. Okay, can also develop into embryo. That is another one which we have to remember. Because why we are saying we have to remember is that here only when the egg is fertilized, it develops into embryo. But what we are saying, even there are chances that synergids, antipodal cells, or now we are saying the endosperm, one of the endosperm cell can also develop into what? Embryo. And these are all there present in the embryo sac. So outside the embryo sac, what is present? Now we say that if this is the ovule, okay, if this is the ovule, okay, and now we say that outside the embryo sac, let us say that this is the embryo sac, okay, this is the embryo sac. Outside the embryo sac, here all these cells that are there present here outside the embryo sac, we call them as the nucellus cells. Okay, we call them as what? Nucellus. And here the ovule is enclosed by what? Integuments, outer integument and inner integument. And kindly note here that there are chances that even the nucellar cell or even the integument cell can develop into what now? Embryos. So you have to remember the integument cells, okay? Integument can develop into what? Embryo. Or nucellar cell, okay? These two now can develop into what? The embryo, which later on this embryo may project inside into the embryo sac. This embryo that is produced from what? Developed from what? Integuments or the nucellar cell can produce or project into the embryo sac. So here the point that we have to keep in mind is that the embryo is not only formed from the fertilized egg. It is also formed from the unfertilized egg, okay, or it is also formed from the diploid cells of the antipodal cells, okay, synergids and the endosperm, and also the cells which are outside called as what? From the integument or from the nucellar cell, the embryo can be formed. So here what we are learning is, or what we are understanding is that the embryo will be formed many in number, maybe because there is only one egg, or maybe because of many embryo sacs having many ovules, or the third point is that maybe because of other cells present inside the embryo sac or outside the embryo sac. Like inside the embryo sac, synergids and antipodals, and outside the embryo sac, the integuments and nucellar cells can develop into embryo. The phenomenon of polyembryony is most common in conifers. That are nothing but gymnosperms. So this is important. Polyembryony is most common in conifers, that are gymnosperms. But polyembryony is also observed in what? Both monocots and dicots. So the phenomenon of polyembryony is also exhibited by the monocots and dicots. So now let us discuss about into how many types of categories, or how we can classify the polyembryony. So now we will discuss about the classification of polyembryony. So now polyembryony is classified into various types. Now polyembryony is classified into simple polyembryony, mixed polyembryony, cleavage polyembryony, and adventive polyembryony. Into these four types, polyembryony can be classified. Now let us see the first one, simple polyembryony. What do you mean by simple polyembryony? In simple polyembryony, presence of more than one embryo sac means what? We know that each ovule will have only one embryo sac. So here is the embryo sac. But here, when we say that each ovule is having only one embryo sac, okay, that is common one. But here what we are saying, there may be more than one embryo sac. There may be more than one embryo sac. So one embryo sac, and there may be another embryo sac or another embryo sac that will be present. So if there are more than one embryo sac, now obviously there will be more than one egg. There will be more than one egg. So all these are what now? These are nothing but what now? They are the eggs that are present. More than one egg will be present. So if all those eggs are being fertilized, then that many number of embryos will be produced. So that this type of process or this type of phenomenon is being observed in Brassica. Okay, this is observed in Brassica. So what is simple polyembryony? Presence of more than one embryo sac and hence more than one egg. If there are 10 embryo sacs, there will be 10 eggs. So if all the eggs are being fertilized, then they will be formed into 10 embryos. Or even some cases, even if they are unfertilized, they will be changing into embryos, as we have seen. Now the next one is mixed polyembryony. Mixed polyembryony. What do you mean by mixed polyembryony? Here, more than one pollen tube entering an ovule. So we know that if this is the ovule, okay, if this is the ovule, here into the ovule there will be one pollen tube that will be traveling. Okay, it comes all the way and enters into the ovule. And if at all, this is again common point. But what we are saying, more than one pollen tube will be entering. So there may be another pollen tube, okay, that is entering. Maybe another pollen tube that is trying to enter inside. If there are more than one pollen tube, okay, these are all what we are saying. These are nothing but what? Pollen tube. Okay, pollen tube. Let us say that this is A and B and C. See here we are seeing 3 pollen tubes are entering. More than one pollen tube is entering into the ovule. So in such cases, the pollen tube which is carrying the male gametes can fertilize the synergid or the antipodal cells. Actually, the pollen tube carrying the male gamete will fertilize what? Only the egg. Okay, see here, if this is the ovule and if this is the egg, if this is the embryo sac and this is the egg, pollen tube comes and fertilizes the egg. Okay, carrying what? Male gamete. But what we are saying, if there are more than one pollen tube entering, this one may fertilize what? The synergy. It may fertilize the synergy. Or let us say this one, at the other end, the antipodal cells are there, and these antipodal cells will be fertilized. These are what? Antipodal cells. Antipodal cells. So here what we have to remember? When there are more than one pollen tube is entering, there are chances that even the synergids and even the antipodal cells will be fertilized, leading to many embryos. This type of polyembryony is observed in ulmus. Okay, it is observed in ulmus. So these are the first 2 types that we are studying. Now we will discuss about the cleavage polyembryony. The next one is cleavage polyembryony. In cleavage polyembryony, there will be splitting of one embryo into 2 or more embryos. So suppose if this is an embryo, suppose we say that here when the egg is fertilized in the embryo sac, let us say that this is the embryo sac, and we know and we studied that egg will be forming right after the fertilization. It forms as the zygote, and zygote will be of one single cell which undergoes transverse division and forms into 2 cells. We already discussed that, and now forms as into many cells and projecting the main cell which will develop into embryo inside into the embryo sac, center of the embryo sac. So here is this, let us say that this is the embryonal cell or embryo cell, that will pro-embryo or embryo. Okay, this is the embryo, and the other cells that are here, okay, we can call these cells as what? Suspensor cells. Okay, suspensor cells. Okay, suspensor cells. Now, it is here what we are saying only one embryo, but what we are saying now here, cleavage polyembryony means what? Splitting of one embryo. Okay, splitting of one embryo into what? Into two or more embryos. Into two or more embryos is called as cleavage polyembryony. So here, let us take the same diagram. Okay, let us take the same diagram. Let us say that this is what now? This is the embryo. Okay, this is the embryo, and this embryo, okay, and this embryo will now undergo what now? Cleavage. Okay, will undergo cleavage. Here is the suspensor. Now the same thing will undergo lateral division. So now we can say that here, let us say now that this is the embryo, okay, and this is the suspensor. This is the embryo, and here let us call this as the suspensor. Now this one will undergo lateral division. Now see that it is undergoing what? Lateral division. What is undergoing lateral division? It is the embryo that is there. It is this embryo which is undergoing what? Lateral division. So let us say here it is undergoing the lateral division. So once it undergoes lateral division, okay, once it undergoes lateral division, now it is giving rise to what? Two or more embryos. Now here we can see how many embryos now? 1, okay, 2 and 3 embryos are formed just from what? Only one embryo. Just from one embryo we are seeing that there are 3 embryos that are formed. This process we are calling it as what? Cleavage polyembryony. Cleavage polyembryony. Cleavage polyembryony. So what do you mean by now cleavage polyembryony? With the diagram we can say it very easily. Splitting of one embryo into 2 or more embryos. Splitting of one embryo into 2 or more embryos is called as what? Cleavage polyembryony. And this type of cleavage of polyembryony is observed in what? Mostly in orchids, nymphaea and nicotiana. Okay, in these the best examples in which cleavage of polyembryony will be taking place. Cleavage polyembryony will be taking place. These are the best examples. Orchids, nymphaea and nicotiana are the best examples. The next one is adventive polyembryony. Adventive polyembryony. Okay, adventive polyembryony. So what do you mean by this adventive polyembryony? When a diploid cell, okay, when a diploid cell of what it can be nucellus or integments of the ovule. Integments and nucellus are what? Parts of the ovule. So they are diploid. Diploid nucellus or integments, they proliferate to form what? Embryos. They proliferate to form embryos. Say suppose here is the ovule. Okay, so let us say that this is the ovule with its integments. Okay, let us say that this is the integments. Okay, this is the ovule and this is the integments. So here, when we look at here, all these cells are what? The nucellus cells. Let us say that these cells are nucellus cells. And at the center, what will be there? The embryo sac will be there. Embryo sac will be there. And here are the nucellus cells. Here are the nucellus cells. So throughout, all this is what now? The nucellus cells. Okay, nucellus cells. Okay, nucellus cells. And these are called as what? The integments. Now, in this case, in the adventive polyembryony, nucellar cell or integument cells can develop into what? Embryo. And please remember, the nucellus and the cells of the integuments are what? They are diploid. So here we have to remember, integuments, they contain cells which are what? Diploid. And nucellus contains cells which are what? Diploid. That's very important. So directly now the cell of the integument or the cell of the nucellus which are diploid directly develops into what? Embryo. That we call it as what? Adventive polyembryony. So here we can say now that one of the cell, let me say that this is the cell of the nucellus, and it starts growing and now slowly develops into what now? An embryo. So let us say that this is an embryo, and we call this as what now? Nucellar embryo. This we can call it as nucellar embryo. And normally the embryo will be there growing where? Inside the embryo sac. This is normal. Okay, embryo that is formed from the fertilized egg or unfertilized egg. This is what? But here this is a nucellar embryo. So when an embryo is formed from a diploid cell of the nucellus or from the integuments, which we are calling it as what? Adventive polyembryony. We are calling it as adventive polyembryony. And this type of adventive polyembryony is observed in some of the plants. And the best examples are what? Citrus, mango and opuntia. These are the best examples which exhibit, which show the adventive polyembryony. Adventive polyembryony. And there is another one which comes under the adventive polyembryony only. That is, this is a very important one. Okay, you have to note it carefully. That is Balanophora. This is another example. Okay, Balanophora. Okay, Balanophora. Okay, this is another one. In this case, okay, in this case, we will see that embryo. Okay, embryo is formed. Okay, embryo is formed from endosperm. From endosperm. Please remember this. Embryo is formed from one of the cell of what? The endosperm. So endosperm is also now participating in formation of what? Embryo. So inside, the best example is what? Balanophora. So in Balanophora, embryo is formed from the endosperm. Embryo is formed from the endosperm. This is another one. We have to note it carefully. We have to note it carefully. There are simple points when we complete the polyembryony to keep in mind. Okay, there are simple points that we have to keep in mind when we are aware of polyembryony. There are two scientists. Okay, there are two scientists called as Ernst and Snell. Okay, Ernst and Snell. It is these two scientists who have classified. Okay, who have classified. Okay, who have classified the polyembryony into two types. One is true polyembryony. True polyembryony. True polyembryony. And another one is the false polyembryony. Okay, these are the two into which the polyembryony can be classified. It is done by two scientists known as Ernst and Snell. They have classified polyembryony into two types: true polyembryony and false polyembryony. So what is true polyembryony? If extra embryos are developed from the same embryo sac. True polyembryony means if extra embryos are developed from the same embryo sac, it is called as true polyembryony. But what is false polyembryony? If extra embryos are developed from elsewhere, it is called as false polyembryony. So these two are being classified by whom? Ernst and Snell. Ernst and Snell. These two. Okay, so what is true polyembryony? When extra embryos are developed from the same embryo sac. What is false embryony? If extra embryos are developed from elsewhere, it is called as false polyembryony. So we said that polyembryony, okay, which means embryos, many embryos, can be formed not only from the egg but also from other cells present in the embryo sac and also the cells which are present outside the embryo sac we studied. So here we said synergids will help in development of what? In formation of what? The embryo. Antibody cells helps in formation of what? Embryo. Even the endosperm is also helping in formation of what? Or it will also form. It will also form into what? Embryo. Here the points that we have to keep in mind is this. The first one, a very, very important one. If it is not the egg, if it is not the egg that is developing into embryo, means more chances are there for synergids to develop into what? Embryos. This is important point. If it is not the egg which develops into embryo, then the next thing is that synergids will be having more chances to develop into embryo, and this is being observed in Lilium. Okay, the best example in which the development of embryos from the synergids is identified is in Lilium. And antibody cells, it is very rare, okay, which develop into what? Embryo. But what we said, synergids, it is the most common, okay, it is the most common type in which they develop into both, can develop into what? The embryo. They can develop into embryo, we said. And now, please remember, we also said endosperm, okay, will also develop into what? The embryo. We have said, we have quoted the example Balanophora. This is being identified by a scientist known as Trieb, okay, by a scientist known as Trieb in the year 1898. The scientist Trieb discovered that embryo is formed from the endosperm in a plant called as Balanophora. And in the same way, there is another scientist called as Woodworth. Okay, another scientist. Okay, he is the scientist. Okay, he is the scientist named as what? Woodworth. He also discovered that endosperm is developing into what? Embryo in the ulnus. Trieb in Balanophora, he discovered endosperm is developing into embryo, and Woodworth discovered in ulnus that endosperm is developing into embryo. So these are some points that we have to keep in mind when we talk about the apomixis and polyembryony. Apomixis and polyembryony. Thank you so much.